Hey everyone, today we're going to do the first round of 3v3 Grand Arena. I want to say if you do like this content, go ahead and like and subscribe. Other than that, let's jump into it. People's Champion, Vader's Fist with Typhon Reborn. They have 8.4 million GP, 4.6 in characters, 3.7 in ships. They have about 3 years played with their, let's see how much it was. 12,700 galactic war battles. It's a little less than 3 years, but to my two, he does have an excellent account compared to what I'm working with. He has 4 GLs. Jedi Master Kenobi is kind of a concern, but I can get through it. He does have Leviathan and Executor, and he has the Scythe. So he attacked first. He has a fantastic score of 2081. He has Malgus, Iden on the bottom wall, and Traya. Those are the only ones that I'm really concerned with. So I go with Malgus first. With Rey, I did have Ben, but I unlocked him just before lockout, and I was able to have him in this round. But I totally forgot until I actually like later on in the match where I realized that I had Ben in my account. So I could have used Ben here, but I didn't. They don't have a Malak here, so I just go straight for Malgus. 2 whirlwinds and he's down. Not a big deal. They almost take out my JT Ray, Jedi Training Ray, but with this ult, I'm able to clear out the ads. 55 banners, not great, but you know it is what it is. So for Wampa, I have I chose Wampa against Iden. It's a very reliable counter. They have a short trooper and a death trooper, but Wampa's going to eat through this with no problem. It's just a matter of like how long it's going to take, not if it's going to happen. So with Wampa, you just got to keep ramping. They have some pretty good survivability mechanics, especially with some tanks there, and short trooper heals them up, and Iden can give them that extra life. So you really have to wait until you ramp up Wampa, but you're gonna go through it. So I do continue to just like slog through this fight. It's not honestly that bad, but it just takes a second with all the dots and everything to work through. But any moment here, Wampa's gonna start just ramping up that damage and annihilating this team. They don't have the damage to go through the protection up, and at this point, once one goes down, Wampa is absolutely juiced, and we're just gonna power through this shore trooper. And once that shore trooper goes down, it's a very quick death for Iden, with all these dots and counterattacks and everything. So it's no concern at this point. Iden, you just hit her. I'm not gonna ramp anymore, and then she just dies of sadness. So an easy 58 banners. So for Padme, I decided to use Malak. Malak solo works really well against Padmes, and this is a really weak Padme team. Even if you have something stronger with like Jedi Knight Anakin and General Kenobi, you can get through this. The only concern would be if they would have Commander Ahsoka Tano or Mace Windu. I would not take a Malak solo against that team. But any other Padme variation that doesn't have Malak or Commander Ahsoka Tano that doesn't have Commander Ahsoka Tano or Mace Windu, then Malak can easily solo it. So not even a concern. They didn't even hit his life thresholds to give him bonus turns because it's such a weak team. So easy 59 banners. So for Nute Gunray, this team is actually really good on offense against Qui-Gon Jinn's, but he decided to place it on defense. I guess it could trip up some players if they underestimate it because it looks weak, but it has excellent sustainability. Nute has a revive, Jango has a revive, B1 has his stacks, so that's why it works so well against the Qui-Gon team, because if Anakin does his big hit, then Jango could be in damage immunity, Nute will get revived, and B1 will just lose a stack. So I did get raided by Aldi at this point, so sorry for the notification, but Aldi, if you're watching this, you're awesome. Thanks for the raid. Other than that, like once I work through my B1, I have the offense stacking Datacron for Savage, which actually can help him solo things like C. It's an amazing Datacron for Savage, because every time he takes a turn, it's 5% damage he's ramping. So I just blow, after all those B1 stacks and he ramped up, I just eat through Nute and Django with absolutely no issues. Yeah, and then no problem. So Inquisitors, this is a really weak Inquisitors team. I went with, it's just a leftovers, like the absolute dredges of the of the Inquisitors. So I went with the Malgus solo here. I do play it manually a little until I take out Second Sister. But most of this fight I played in auto, just because there's no decision for me to make. Like if he has a special, he's going to use his special. If he has his second special, which is his dunk, he's just going to take it to the rim. So that's why for this I take it off auto for a second, just because there's a damage immunity and I don't want him to use his dunking with damage immunity. So after I do that and the damage immunity is gone, I throw it back on auto, and it's just a matter of going through this team. And if you notice, I'm doing mostly solos here, and it's because my opponent has such high banners that I have to solo them. It's just a ridiculous score that he got, and he one-shot my fleets that I have to kind of play in kind. So that's why I'm using a solo Malgus for this team. And maybe I would have done it anyways, because this team is really weak and it is absolutely no threat to Malgus. Even with all those armor shreds, they're not even like tickling his protection. So that's why it's just an auto and forget situation, because there's absolutely no threat for Malgus here. Yeah, like it's just an easy win. And maybe some people are thinking like, oh, why didn't you put a better defense? It's because the guy I go, that's not my strategy, but an easy 59 banners. So in the back wall, we have OTraya first that I'm going to deal with. But first I'm probably going to deal with this upper wall. So we have a sortie. So with sortie, I went with Jedi Knight Revan. Jedi Knight Revan is the perfect counter for sortie. You can use Wampa, but I already used Wampa on Iden, but this is a pretty cheap counter to it. I can split off my other Jedi to do things, but with this counter, it just has sortie's name because they have so much protection up, and whenever Jedi Knight Revan hits someone with protection up, then they lose 10% health. So similar to like a mace shatter point, but just with health. So all that protection up Shorty is getting is causing her to lose her health. 10% health, and it just gets to the point where we just work through her. There's absolutely no threat here of timing out. This team has so much survivability and actually pretty good offense that there's no timeout threat here, and it's just a matter of just systematically working them down and demolishing this team. So if you're looking for a good sortie counter, Jedi Knight Revan is the way to go. All right, so for this, even though they had the Zam Omicron, my Sith Empire outspeeds them, so I easily just demolished this team. Perfect banners. So for Dad Bod Boba, I decided to go with Dash Han Chewie. The enemy doesn't even come close to taking a turn. Easy 57 banners. So for Leia Organa, I go with First Order. This First Order team is amazing on offense, so easy 57 banners there. For Phasma, this is definitely an overuse, but the reason I chose this team is it's just an easy use. In hindsight, I probably would have done something else to save Jedi Knight or to save CLS for a different fight, but easy 57 banners. So for OTraya, I decided to go just with a solo SLKR, just to, like it's a relic OTraya. There's probably some other things I could do, but easy win, not a big deal. 59 banners. This is where things go a little awry. So I decided to go with Imperial Troopers, and I made a mistake there by not going straight for Marin. And I could have recovered if I would have basicked here on Daka, but I didn't. So I made two crucial mistakes by not going for Marin, and then I didn't basic on Daka to get that assist and kill her. And then so when I did end up killing Marin, she was able to get the revive. And then at this point, they kill my Piet, and there's nothing I can do. So I just forfeit here because there's no way I'm going to go through there. So I officially lost the Grand Arena at that point. I decided to go with Starkiller at this point. This team is super annoying. So they still have so much survivability that even though I'm playing whack-a-mole with them, they're just, you know, they're just reviving. But it's fine. I still get the win. It's not perfect, but it is what it is. With this, I didn't want to mess around with it just because Captain Rex has so much damage and survivability. Same with this. It's not the perfect team because I would rather, if I was going to place this on defense, I would have rather have gone with like Rex 5 to really take advantage of his Omicron. But, you know, I wasn't going to play around with it. I just used Jabba here, and it's an easy win. Even with Kanan surviving with healing with debuffs, we just pushed through them. So easy 57 banners. For this one, it's a really crappy team that they set on defense. I chose General Kenobi and Jedi Knight Luke just because I have to get an underman win for General Kenobi so I can finish that prestigious quest just because I haven't done it. And this is the last fight I needed, so I was able to finish my prestigious quest here. So I was really happy with that. And if you see, like, Chopper's super thick. Like, this is a really thick Chopper. Normally, Jedi Knight Luke just eats through people, but that Chopper, even without a lead, like, did really well. So I used Darth Vader here with just some Empire. The reason I didn't go solo Vader was I already lost the match. So I decided that I would just, you know, bring in some Empire teams, easy 57 banners. So for Chimaera, I'm using to take out the Leviathan. I don't have Scythe, so I have to use the TIE Bomber instead. But I can bring out the TIE Defender. And the hope here is that I can take out that Sith Marauder. And if I can take out that Sith Marauder, then I have an opportunity to two-shot the 7-star Leviathan. And not having another counter for it, that could be really useful for me. So I'm just trying to survive long enough and have my capital ship not taken control of so that I can take out that Sith Marauder. So unfortunately that Sith fighter had just like a little bit of health, and then they took out my bomber. But I was able to get to the ult right there, and then I ended up just timing this out. So easy opportunity for a cleanup there, but I got what I needed done there. So against Home 1, I decided to take the Malevolence. I just have to be careful with my debuffs that I put out there because the Millennium Falcon will clean them up. So I'm pretty much only going to use abilities that put buzz droids out there, but I'm not going to try to stun them or do anything crazy because then it'll clear the buzz droids, and the buzz droids is what I need. I easily take out their Y-Wing. We just have Wedge left with some more adds. So take out Wedge. I can bring in my Spy, and there's only 2, so I can get that Force Taunt on Millennium Falcon. I'm a Mass Assist. He had 3 buzz droids, and he just goes down. So this was a super easy counter. They keep bringing out some more players, but not a big deal. The reinforcements aren't an issue for me. I'm able to just like continue to burn through this fleet. It was not an issue, and is 69 banners, not perfect, but it's a win. So for this Finalizer, I go with Negotiator. So my Anakin is only gear 12, and it puts some strain, and my Negotiators only R3 for my General Kenobi. So it's not a perfect fleet, and it gives the enemy opportunities to kind of like take advantage of my low gear on my fleet. So generally I used to always keep this on defense, but I took it off because I still need it. And I don't need it on defense anymore. So I'm working on the relics, but currently my plan is to take out Kylo Ren, and since I put the buff immunity on the TIE Enchilada, I know I'm going to be able to just continue to work through Kylo. Once I start attacking him, I have to burn him down, otherwise I'm just going to lose because it ramps up his damage crazy high. So I'm just going straight for that TIE Enchilada. Once I take him down, Once that TIE silencer went down, this is a really easy cleanup. But it was still like, I still need to work on my on my relics for this so that I can stop having to worry about the RNG, because RNG can definitely get me here. So another 69 banners. So I take home 1 to clean up this Leviathan. I chose home 1 because it has a really good assist mechanics, and the Outrider can hit multiple times. So if they bring out that Mark 6, then I have a lot of opportunities to burn through their burn through all the stacks of them. So they pretty much hard focus my Outrider. He goes down sometimes, but the survivability of home 1 and the crits and everything, I'm pretty much able to survive. I bring out the Raven's Claws, my first assist, just because it's a good ship. And I continue to just like work on it. My Outrider gets a little low for a second, but he heals right back up. And then we take out the first life of the Malgus ship. They bring out another reinforcement. I'm not too worried about it. That Sith, the Scythe, is really, really garbage. Or I don't know what it's called. Darth Maul's ship is just absolute garbage. So I easily kill that ship. And then I just have to worry about the stacks. So a mass assist here takes out some stacks. I have my Outrider to help with some more stacks. And then this is a super good cleanup. I think unless I went with like no reinforcements, like really good banners for a cleanup. So 51, not bad at all. So this is the final result of what happened, 2042 to 2081. I'm not upset about this one. I was able to clear their Leviathan. The rest of them were kind of garbage. I think if they weren't able to clear my Leviathan and my Executor, then I would have won. But unfortunately, he had good fleets as well, and he was able to one-shot all these. So, you know, sometimes that's just what happens. So I feel like I'm doing better in Kyber 3, and I feel like I'm an actual contender here. I think I'm going to hold pretty well in Kyber 3. Worst case 4, but I think I'll push right back up because my strategy is working with my 3 GLs. Once I unlock my 4th GL, it's only going to get better from there. So thanks for watching, and if you don't mind, if you like this content, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.